Hello everyone, this is Taka from bigheadtaco.com, and I am here to do a quick vlogging camera review of the Canon G5X. And so I'm going to be reviewing the G5X as a regular camera for street photography and regular types of photography, but it seems like a lot of the reviews online is about using this camera as a vlogging camera. And so I'm gonna just do a quick test. I'm actually here in the Britannia High School Community Center neighborhood, and I'm here to do actually a lens sharpness test between the Fujifilm X70 and the Ricoh GR. And so I don't have anyone with me except myself, and so this setup is just perfect. So I'm gonna leave my car now, and we will go to the area that I want to do the test, and then we'll just see how well this camera can track focus, do auto exposure, and yeah, I haven't had much success with other cameras in this style using it as a vlogging camera. Many of the cameras I use are interchangeable lens cameras, APS-C, full frame, you know, things like that, and they just tend not to track focus very well, to lock in on a person, and a lot of the articulating screens. So I am using the articulating screen, but it does fold out sideways, and it makes sense to wear glasses if you don't want to look like you're looking off. So here I am looking right at the lens, and now here I am looking over at the sideways articulating screen. And so that's the problem with these sideways, actually even the ones that flip up, there's a problem, because your eyes just still naturally tend to want to look up at the screen at yourself. And so ones like Casey Neistat likes to wear shades to sort of hide the fact he's looking. It's great for composition and seeing what's in your frame, but as a long-term thing, I would rather actually just grab this articulating screen, pull it back so I can't even see, because I can sort of guess the framing of this camera. So let's go outside, let's go to the area I want to go, and let's just see how well this camera can handle ambient noise, as well as the changing of the lighting situation, so from inside a car to the outside. I'm using my mini tripod, my Coleman ball head. Oops, just dropped my iPhone. Not very good. I'm using my Coleman mini tripod head as a way to sort of stabilize. I don't like holding a camera sort of like this. You know, I like to hold it like this, and so because of that, it gives me a little bit more height. Not a lot, but just a little bit more. And that way, and also adds a bit of weight, so it creates a little bit more stability. But the Canon G5X and a lot of the Canon smaller, the Powershots, have always had really smooth and really good image stabilization. And so I don't think I'm gonna have a problem with this camera. Now I've chosen this area here to test the image sharpness of the G5X. I mean, sorry, the Fujifilm X70 versus the GR, because one of the things about lens sharpness is, of course, the closer you are to the subject, and the wider the lens, the further out you go, automatically it sort of, you get that bokeh effect, the wide angle effect, because here, by nature here, I'm going to just turn this over here. So center will be sharp, right? But as you get further off to the edge, the actual physical distance between the lens and this wall and here to the edges actually changes, and because of it, you're going to get different depths. You're going to get different focus distance anyway, so naturally the edges will start getting blurred, and now you don't know what's blurry. Is it the lens that can't hold sharpness to the edge, or is it just the geographic distance that you are from the subject? And so I'm going to use the 28, so both the X70 and the GR have a 28mm wide equivalent, so I'm going to be a reasonable distance from this mural here, maybe about 10 to 15 feet, so that the distance from the center of the image to the edge is going to be within inches of each other, and with a decent depth of field. Maybe I'll shoot at f2.8 and then f4, f5.6, f8. Not only is the lens going to get sharper because you're stopping down, but as well the depth of field will cover the discrepancy of focus distance from the center to the edge. So let's just give it a try and see how it goes. So just finished doing the lens test, comparing the Fujifilm X70 and the Ricoh GR, which is not the latest, the GR2 is, but the processor, the sensor, and the lens is exactly the same, and so it should be great. This is a good mirror. I'm going to walk away from a little bit. This is a great mirror to use as a background. Again, as I mentioned about the distance from edge to edge sharpness, if you want to test that, it's good to have a lot of detail in the wall that you're using. But as well, with the wide-angle lens, you should have a decent distance away from a wall that's reasonably straight all the way across, because you want to make sure that the edge softness isn't coming from the fact that you're way too close to the wall or to your subject. And so just finished doing that. I just put on the LED light on top of the G5X, which is nice that this camera has a hot shoe. One of the things about the vlogging cameras like the G7X that has the articulating screen that flips up instead of flipping sideways is that you can't use a hot shoe for anything. I mean, well, the G7 doesn't even have a hot shoe, where the G5X does. So you can put an LED light on the top, or you can put a shotgun microphone. The only problem with that is that there is no microphone input on the G5X. So that's probably the biggest complaint I have about the G5X when it comes to becoming a vlogging camera. You have to use the built-in stereo microphones, which I hear is pretty good, and I've seen some other vloggers use this camera and it sounds pretty good, except maybe in really extreme audio situations. And so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna walk back to the car, go home, check out the lens sharpness of both those cameras. I shot at f2.8, like in full stop, so f2.8, f4, 5.6, f8, and we'll see how the lens sharpness is between the two, the Ricoh and the Fujifilm. And this is also, you know what, actually what I'm gonna do is, maybe I'll do the same test. I'm pretty sure I remembered where I was standing. I'm gonna do the same sharpness test with the G5X, although it's sort of unfair because, first of all, it's a zoom lens. Prime lenses in general tend to be sharper as well. The format is different. This is a 1-inch sensor versus an APS-C size. And as well, I don't know if I can even remember where I stood. Alright, I just finished using the G5X, doing the same lens test between the X70 and the Ricoh GR. I'm walking back to the car. Man, this is a really busy alley. A couple of little things about vlogging cameras I wanted to mention as well, other than the microphone input thing, is that the silly little red button that turns the video on and off should really be moved to the shutter button. Now the G5X on the mode dial has actually a video mode, so if I can suggest to Canon, I understand why you have the little red button like every other brand, so it's not just Canon, so that it doesn't matter what mode you're in, if you're shooting in manual or aperture or shutter priority program, that as soon as you're ready to shoot a video, you just press that button. So that makes sense. I get why it exists, but most of them are very hard. First of all, when you have it faced towards you as a vlogging camera, you can't even see the button, and they're so small it's hard to press. But another point is that since this Canon G5X actually has a dedicated video mode in the dial, if it's in the video mode, I think that you should be able to turn the video on and off using, actually, let me just see if that even. So yes, it's weird. What happens is that when you press the shutter button, when you're in the video, oh, you know what? So I'm in video mode, and let's just press the shutter button. Yeah, so while you're in video mode on the mode dial, and then you press the shutter button, it takes a picture and then it just stops the video. So I guess it's a good way to stop the video, and I think it also takes a picture. But I think it'd be great that the shutter dial becomes a video start and stop button. The G5X also is a good camera for vlogging because it has a 24mm wide equivalent, so my arms are reasonably stretched out. So here's full extension of my arm, and again I'm using a tripod ball head on the bottom, so this is the distance. So this is probably as close as you want to get. 28mm is probably about like this, so it's a little bit too close. So 24 is a nice distance for vlogging. So there's a lot of things to like about this camera. You can shoot in manual mode in video, and so because of that, you can use this aperture ring here on the front. You can hear the click click kind of sounds, but at least you can quickly change your aperture as you go into darker, brighter environments, or maybe even use the exposure compensation dial. So anyways, that's just a couple of my quick thoughts about the G5X being used as a vlogging camera. So far so good. We'll see what the audio is going to be like once I get home and check what I've got. But that's it for now. I'm getting back into my Nissan Sentra and do a couple more little camera tests. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.